Well, today I went to the Phoenix Police Museum. Now, it's at the old City Hall on 2nd Avenue in Jefferson. And it's not really a big museum, it's pretty small, just one floor, but it packs a lot of history. And the people that are there are all retired cops. And there was actually a guy that greeted me store, greeted me at the museum, and he was a retired cop too. He told me a few stories, and there was the other guy there that was a retired cop, and he was telling how he never killed anyone, but he killed a horse. It was a pretty funny story. I mean, it's sad for the horse though, but I'm sure they have all kinds of stories. So if nothing else, just talk to these guys, go down there. They'll tell you all kinds of stories. Great thing about this museum, it was free, though there's nowhere to park around there, so you got to pay for the parking, which is right down the street. And it was kind of hard because I'd never been there before to that museum, and it was kind of hard to see the sign where it was there. It had a small sign there, so if you're driving down, you won't see it. But I mean, you could the old city hall is huge, so you just got to go there and look for the sign. And you walk when you walk inside. This is the first thing you're gonna see, and the guy there who was an ex-cop was telling me how they um, chained prisoners. They would chain them to a rock so they would move, and that was one of their first jails. There was also all types of signage around the museum. This one was about history of Phoenix, which is I found it fascinating, really. Here's some early uniforms of the Phoenix Police. Early police cruiser. I don't know what year that was. I didn't ask the guy. Should have asked him that. Here's a retired police motorcycle. And here's Park Central Mall. Now, for the old timers of Phoenix, this is built back in '57, and I think that sign says the picture was taken in 1960. So I guess that's one of the earlier pictures of the Phoenix Police Force. And one way you could tell is those cars. Yeah, they were. They're all classics now. I didn't know that Park Central had a Walgreens. Surprised me. God, do I feel old now? For being that small of a museum, they had quite a lot of stuff in there. They had helicopters. What about a helicopter? Uh, Motorcycles, cop cars. So they did pack a lot of stuff in there. And here's Winnie Ruth. Oh, this is a big thing. Where what happened? I guess she was in love with somebody and whatever. I don't know the whole story, but all I know is that she hacked somebody, and then I guess she put the body in the trunk, and she went to Los Angeles with the trunks in a train ride, and they caught her. She actually was born in 1905, and she died when she was 93, back in the I think 80s sometime. But she got convicted of the crime, went to jail, and was paroled. But there was one of the bigger stories for Arizona history. They would call her the trunk murderess, Tiger Woman, the blonde butcher, and she was supposed to be a pretty attractive lady, and her occupation was the medical secretary. But you should Google her name. It's kind of fascinating story. Now, this is one of the big stories in Arizona history. And you gotta look back at that time then. Now, back then, of course, there was no internet, and newspapers were the big thing. And this guy was a reporter for the Arizona Republic. And what he did was, um, back then, there was a lot of corruption, mafia, stuff like that. And he was one of the reporters that uncovered it. And anyway, he went to the Clarion Hotel to be an informer. That guy John Anderson that they have in handcuffs, and I guess he went in the hotel. The guy said he couldn't make it, so Don walked back out to the parking lot, and there was 6 sticks of dynamite in his car, and it was a radio controlled bomb. So as soon as he started the car blew up, and it tore up his body, and he died 6 days later. But God, I still remember it. I was a young man back then, and it was it was all over the headlines. Now, when you go to the hotel now, it used to have pictures of the scene stuff like that, and I think that they took those pictures down. But there's a bust of his head in the lobby of the hotel. I believe that. I haven't been to that hotel in years now. I pass it all the time, and it's actually a pretty nice hotel. I think it has a pool on top, whatever. And there's another room in there. It's like it looks like a chapel, and it has all the officers that were killed in the line of duty. And here's one of the first helicopters that the Phoenix Police used. Of course, Phoenix has a Clint Eastwood connection. Now, that movie is called The Gauntlet, and it was filmed back in 1977. And what he is, he's a loser cop in the movie. I think he's an alcoholic also too. I haven't seen the movie in years now. But he's transporting that girl, that blonde, in the back seat, and her name, Sandra Luck, I believe. Anyway, he actually married her, and after they were married in this movie, or they got married afterwards, I'm not sure about that. But he transports her from Vegas to Phoenix, and of course it's a shoot up movie, and he gets her to Phoenix, but he has to go through all kind of stuff, whatever. Sure, the movie it was a pretty good movie, and I think he also directed that movie too. One of his earlier movie directing bits. And see that brown box right there? That was also a movie prop in the movie, and you can see it's right behind that guy in the suit. If nothing else, you should read this movie um, because you can take a look how Phoenix was back in 1977, and you would never recognize it. And it has a lot of downtown Phoenix in this movie. And if you're, unless you're an old guy like me, you wouldn't believe Phoenix the way it was at one time, and nothing like it is now. But if anything else, rent it to watch a good movie. You watch any cop show, any movie, and when someone gets arrested, you're going to hear this. You have the right to remain silent. Anything in Canada will be used against a court of law. Well, this is because this guy over here, Ernest Miranda, and he was a kind of a petty criminal, and he did some bad things, got arrested, and went to jail. But his lawyer tried to overturn it, and I really don't want to get into it because it's a big long story. But he, the reason for Miranda rights is because of this guy, and you could probably Google it and find out more of the story. But anyway, his life didn't have a happy ending. He went to jail, and he he used to make money by selling cards, with the Miranda rights. You do that stuff. Anyway, he was in Phoenix one night, got in a bar fight. The guy stabbed him, killed him, and the guy that actually stabbed him was read his Miranda rights and refused to say anything. So, but anyway, that's his story. Well, I hope you like this little trip to Phoenix Police Museum. And what I do is I mostly go to museums around Phoenix, restaurants, and other things. And if you would please give me a like and subscribe to my channel, I would really appreciate it. Anyway, have a good night, and I will talk to you later.